What's going on, guys? Hey, my name is Logan Manzanares. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly why I can pay more for your property than anybody else. And I'm going to share with you exactly how you can do exactly the same thing. So without further ado, let's go. Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Logan Manzanares. I currently own $5 million worth of real estate. The cash flow is well over $10,000 every single month. And I make these videos on this channel for you so you can learn how to become financially free through real estate, to have the freedom to do what you want, who you want, for as much as you want to do it. So without further ado, let's dive into today's video. All right, guys, so I'm going to share with you in this video exactly how I can pay more for any property than you can, and exactly how to look at real estate from a different point of view than how most people look at it. So when most people say, hey, are you getting a good deal on this property, or hey, I have a good deal for you, I really ask them, I was like, well, what's a good deal to you, right? Because a good deal to most people is simply this: when they find a house that is worth $200,000, but for whatever reason, someone's listing it for $100,000, okay? All of a sudden, that seems like a good deal. But is it really, right? It depends on what your goal is. Now, if your goal is appreciation, if your goal is to basically take that house, fix it up and flip it, make more money on it, then of course, it can be a good deal, depending on what your strategy is. For me though, I don't buy real estate to fix and flip it. I don't buy real estate for that quick cash. I buy real estate for wealth, because I want to hold these assets for eternity. And I want to buy the goose, and I want to lay the golden eggs every single month, right? And how I do that is through cash flow. And so it doesn't matter to me if that home is worth $200,000 and I get it for $100,000 if I can only rent it for $500 and the mortgage on it is $1,000. That means I'm actually negative $500 a month, right? And so in order for me to make money, I would have to sell that piece of property. And by selling it, I would be triggering a tax situation. I'd also lose the asset in itself, which is the whole reason I bought the thing in the first place. And for me, that just doesn't make a lot of sense right now where I'm at in my life. So what I'm looking for is I look to buy gooses, right? I look to buy gooses that lay golden eggs. And so when I buy a property, I'd rather buy a property for $100,000. I'd rather buy a property for $200,000 worth $100,000, but I can flip-flop that around where my mortgage is $500 a month, my rent is $1,000 a month. Now I'm making $500 a month. I could care less if I paid $100,000 over the asking price, because you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to hold that property forever. I'm never going to sell it. And so I don't really care if I'm upside down or sideways on it, because at the end of the day, as long as it cash flows, that's all I care about. And so here's the cool part about the market, right? It's like so many people are so concerned about the market going up, down, or sideways, but when you buy on cash flow, it doesn't really matter, because what happens when a market crashes is that rents generally tend to go up because people get pushed out of the home buying market, and guess where they go to? That's right, they go into rentals, right? Because at the end of the day, people always have to have a place to live, and that's why I love real estate so much, because you know, from the early 1900s all the way till now, like people have lived in homes with bathrooms, you know, and sinks. And with heat and electricity, right? That's just the way it is. And so at the end of the day, like people are willing to give up everything. They're willing to give up their memberships. They're willing to give up their nice cars. They're willing to eat top ramen. But you know what they're not willing to do? They're not willing to live under a bridge unless they absolutely have to, right? And so at the end of the day, most basic need that people are always going to pay for, and it's most people's most expensive line item on their expense sheet every single month, guess what? It's their rent, it's their mortgage. And so that's why I'm all in on real estate, because when you buy on cash flow, it doesn't really matter if you're $100,000 under, if you're making $500 a month every single month, because you have the ability to ride that out. And eventually over time, real estate, eventually will go up. You know, as long as you buy in the right location, the right place, and it's not like a dying place, right? And so that's why I can pay more for property, is because I buy based on terms, not on the purchase price. And so that's where doing creative financing really helps me out a lot, is where if I can buy a home on terms, I can give somebody the price they're looking for. It's just not going to be through a bank. And they might, and what it's going to be is that I'm going to give them a down payment and probably have to cover their mortgage. And by doing that though, it allows them to get the price they want, allows them to walk away from the home free and clear, not even to worry about it. And they can upgrade from being a landlord to a lender, or they can just get out of the property and not think about it. And I can be the one that takes care of the property. And so again, when you're looking to pay more than anybody else, don't think about it so much from a standpoint of price being the value, but the terms being the value, okay? And so at the end of the day, it's the terms that make something a good deal or not. If I can put no money down and still make $200 a month, and what's my return on that? Well, it's an infinite return. Or I could put $100,000 down and still make $300. Is that a good return, right? Not as good. And so understanding that, like what the terms are, from your down payment to your interest rate to your monthly payment, to if you have like a balloon payment or not, or what your amortization schedule is, all is going to depend on if you have a good deal or not. And so what's my message for today is, like, when it comes to deals, don't look at it so much from like you buy a house at 100,000 and you get it and it's worth 200,000, but more look at it from the standpoint of like, what can I rent it for? What's my mortgage payment going to be with taxes and insurance every single month versus what can I rent it for? And understanding what that, if you understand there's a gap in there, that's called cash flow, and cash flow will set you free. So hopefully this video got you excited, got you thinking about real estate a little differently. And hey, if you like what you're hearing, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and we drop more videos like this every single week. Without further ado, my name is Logan Manzanares, and I'm out. Bye.